Charlotte.
And welcome back to the Purple Sector.
So today we're going to be talking about 5 key points of the race.
So first up, we're going to chat about quali. Well, qualifying was definitely dramatic. Red Bulls did okay. A lot of people were expecting them to be further forward than they were. The fact that Lando qualified P4 starting P3 because of the Lewis protest drama. Also, I think Daniel and Menno getting into Q3. Obviously, George. And then the fact that the Ferraris were so terrible. I don't know what's going on with their car. It proves probably questions about last year's engine, because just to see the massive drop-off they've had, it's just a shame. And same with Alfa Romeo, to be honest.
My first point about quali is Williams nearly getting into Q2. I think obviously that's a big improvement from last year's qualifying. Only a 7/10 of a second was between Q1 and Q2. I think that's really important for them in terms of progress. And I would also like to touch on Lando being P4. I watched an interview with Andres Seidel saying, well, you think you'll be able to get on a podium this week? And they were like, definitely not. And then Lando qualified P4, started P3 because of the whole Red Bull incident. So yeah, I think McLaren's are showing much more pace than they think they've got. So with us talking about quali, what was your first main point of the race that you think needs to be talked about?
I think one of the biggest issues was the sheer amount of retirements we had. So we had 7 mechanical or engine-related failures across different types of engines, from the Hondas to the Renaults to the Ferraris and the Mercedes. It proves that despite having so much time off because of coronavirus, the liability issues that exist early in the season are still going to exist. I think this is the most amount of retirements we've had since, I think, Australia 2015. And it's been a long time, and I think it's worrying for the teams because there's not a lot of engines in the season. The fact they don't know how long the season's going to be. Not a lot of parts. The fact that Max broke a wing in quali, that meant Alex didn't have the new wing for the race. And I think a lot of the teams need to kind of scratch their heads and think, actually, what is wrong with these cars? And in the end, it might not always be the fastest car that wins. It might actually be which car actually stays to the end of the race, because 9 retirements meant we nearly had all the drivers in the points. So what's one issue you think we need to talk about?
One of the issues was in the later stages of the race, and Kimi's wheel just flying across the track. Like, I don't quite understand how the hell that happened. Like, we was just coming out of a safety car, and then all of a sudden I just see Kimi's name going down the timing sheets. And I was like, what the hell has happened? And then when you look at, I think it was Seb's on board. So I'm not sure why Seb was so far at the back this race, but you know. And I just saw it just flew off. Not like the suspension's broke and it's popped a tyre. The whole tyre fell off. So honestly, what the hell was happening at that point?
They got fined, I think it was €5,000 for that incident.
Because that was so dangerous. Like, I know there wasn't any fans there, but imagine there was fans. Imagine it flew off in another way. Imagine it hit Seb.
Yeah.
So we've had them issues of all the retirements and the unreliability. What is another main issue you picked up in the race?
I think one of the biggest issues is where the hell was Ferrari this race? Their pace was off in quali. The fact that Seb didn't get out of Q2, and I just think, where on earth has the engine been? If you look compared to last year, it does bode the question about the investigation they had into the engine, whether something was illegal. But then you look at the race as well, and you had silly moments like the fact that when Vettel is trying to battle with Carlos and Charles, and he dive bombs up the inside and spins, and you just think, you're a four-time world champion. Where on earth is your head has gone? I don't know. And the fact that Charles somehow managed to get P2 is both a miracle and, I'm not going to lie, he was lucky that those Mercedes were having so many issues. The fact that they got penalties and got what they did, because that Ferrari is nowhere. And I'm not going to lie, if I was Carlos, I'd be a little bit worried going to that next year, because they're going to be stuck with that donkey of a car for the 2021 season. So Charlotte, what do you think is the last crucial point you want to mention?
So as you can tell, I'm very happy saying this last point. McLaren being on the podium, basically. I can't believe it. Like, watching interviews where they weren't sure if they're going to match the pace of the racing points and the top of the midfield cars. And then to see Lando start P3 and battle the whole way round with Sergio. And then just knowing that Lewis had that 5-second penalty, and just seeing that Lando was 5.2 seconds behind, and I was like, come on. And then just to see them graphics on the screen of him the whole lap, and then he gets 4.8, and I was like, yeah, I think that was a major highlight. First podium, best finish, and best qualifying. Like, it was a good race for me.
He's the first new British driver to get on the podium since Lewis in 2008. The only other British driver since then has been Jenson, and Jenson got his first podium before, so I think...
That's amazing.
Not gonna lie, not the one of the F2 boys that I thought would have got it first. I love all that. But I think definitely well deserved, and shows a level of maturity there that it'll be interesting to see what he's up like against Danny Ricciardo.
That's the thing, like, we've got, like, he's with Carlos now. Obviously, Carlos has been in Formula One for a while, but like Danny Rick, he's been at a good team, gone to a bad team, he's coming to a all right team that used to be great. Like, how are they going to fight it out?
Oh, it'll be exciting.
Because, like, after this season, say Lando does really well, they're not going to put Danny Rick straight in at number 1.
Yeah, I think Daniel's got to prove himself. As he says, the little ankle biters know what they're doing. Lastly, I think we've got to talk about not just the elephant in the room, but the elephant on the racetrack. The repeat of Brazil 2019, Hamilton versus Albon. What do you think?
I've seen both sides of the argument, and I just don't know what side. As soon as it happened, I said he needs a penalty for that, because it's literally exactly the same as Brazil, right? Like, Alex had the outside line. Like, I don't know, but then I do think maybe Alex should have been more patient, but then I'm thinking it was Alex's to have. Yeah. So honestly, I'm in the middle. What about you?
I think Brazil was kind of a more 50-50 situation. Both of them were probably in the wrong. In this instance, Hamilton should have given Albon more space. He pushes into the outside. It was only ever going to end one way. And the only thing I have is that the 5-second penalty, demoted Hamilton off the podium. It doesn't actually make it any easier for Alex. He's lost the chance at a race victory. If that had been a 10-second penalty, I think that would have probably been better. But in the end, it's racing. Everyone was on the limit, but also everyone was pushing hard, probably in some cases a bit too hard.
Do you think that Alex would have got the win?
Yeah, I'd say he'd have probably got the win. Bottas had tried to give him a go. I think Mercedes probably would have ended up sacrificing one of their cars to try and take the win, because it's not necessarily it's just the point. It's symbolic of the fact it's the first race back, and now you've got a Red Bull team with no points. Same as Haas, same as Williams. That's not a league they want to be in anytime soon.
Definitely not. Especially not after the whole, like, protest anyway. Like, they clearly had a point to prove this weekend. They wanted to prove a point. They wanted to come in and smash it. Like, fair enough. Okay, protest about Lewis, cleared. Protest again, penalty. And then for Lewis to then do that to Alex again, it kind of like a stab in the back. You think you're going to do great, and then...
Yeah. Kind of a bit of karma, though. All that protesting, and then... But I think it was also very indicative for Albon. His morale is, you've got Helmut Marko is probably breathing down his neck. Albon, until he needs to get a podium, to be honest, next race, he's going to be vulnerable. There's going to be a lot of junior drivers coming up. If you look at, say, for example, F2 and F3 and Super Formula, you've got a lot of Red Bull drivers, or drivers that Red Bull could probably poach, or the driver academies, sniffing down the neck. You've also got Pierre Gasly. Not to say Daniel Kvyat, but... So that's our video. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to tune in next week for the Styrian Grand Prix race review. I'm Hannah.
I'm Charlotte.
And this has been the Purple Sector. Bye.
Bye.